Yeah, after 3 we'll take a response.
Yeah. Let me call the lady first. Doctor, please tell us your name and...
Take it. Back. Take it. Back. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dr. Blessing Okene. I'm so proud of you, my brother. It is about time. My heart aches. Sometimes I weep for Nigeria. Sometimes in 2015, I was privileged to go to Nigeria. I was invited to be Commissioner of Education, Rivers State. And prior to that time, I had to package my curriculum and education because that's my area. Though my doctorate was in multicultural education, my master's was for curriculum and teaching. So prior to me leaving, I was advised by the governor to get prepared with my curriculum and education. So I had to revamp the curriculum of Rivers State. At least that was what I was told. I packed my things, went to Michigan State, where I had my master's, met with my professors. We put together a curriculum that will mimic that of Atlanta Public Schools, where I taught in high school. With that, I thought I got it going on. I went to Nigeria. My brother, it is well. I spent 8 months in Nigeria, waited for my brother, my friend, the governor, who actually invited me with Honorable Okene. And by the special grace of God, I was also privileged to meet with a friend, a father in politics, called Dr. Buzo, who was Commissioner for Health 3 times. So I thought I have dotted the I's and crossed the T's. It is well. I got there, submitted the resume, and the first disappointment I had was that, oh, okay, they are yet to confirm the governor. Remember, I have kids here. I also had business here. My dad was so foolish. I was naive. I closed down my business. Whoa. Left to Nigeria to serve. It wasn't for my own personal advertisement, believe me. I went there to serve because I feel that Nigeria needs people who are going to be passionate in serving. People who want to serve selflessly. People who are going to be there with the heart, the energy to serve. And so at the end of the day, believe me, after the governor was declared winner, I went for the first interview, was shortlisted. For the second one, I met a gridlock. I was told to submit this, and submit that, and submit this, and meet with this person. Some of those things are not in line with my faith, if you know what I mean. So at that point, I packed my things. I said, this is not the time for me. God Almighty knows why. Maybe I have to go back to US and reboot. Even coming back here, I am still wondering what the hell I'm doing here. Because I don't fit here anymore. I feel the urge. People are dying every day, people who don't have a place here. At the end of the day, we will go home. If you're not getting ready to go home, believe me, you go to nursing home. How does that feel?
You choose one.
You have to choose one. Why don't you choose one while you don't have to battle with Alzheimer's? My people, believe me, our people need us. No matter how much they will try to destroy us, our people need us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Doctor. We're going to take another question, but please, I want to restrict it to 2 minutes. And let's go straight to the question, please. It's very important. We're going to have time for a lot of questions after the but right now, I'm going to take 2 more, and I'll give you room to answer your questions. Let me have...
that was not a question.
Yeah, that's just one. We're taking 2 more. 2 more.
Oh.
Yeah, we're taking 2 more. 2 more. Then 2 sets. That's fine. Let me get you, sir.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bolaji. I really appreciate you, Mr. President, to be. My question is, I really appreciate everything you said. I've watched you for a couple of times online, and I'm very impressed. I'm supposed to be at work. I have to call out to work because I need to be here. Thank you back. Thank you back. This is so much important to me. My question is this. It's easier said than done. I'm a very straightforward person. And I don't quote questions because I have to ask you some challenging questions. Please, sir. If we do the thing the same way, we're going to get the same result, except we do it differently. So, now with your passion, with everything, you got it, with your idea and everything is okay. But how are you going to do it differently from this situation we are in now? Because the reason why I ask this question, how are you going to do it differently, is that we people that are sitting down here, we are the ones that shouted Hosanna for Buhari 4 years ago. Are we not the same people shouting crucify right now again? How is it not going to be the same situation with you, sir, when you are in the office? Because these days, Nigeria is a very complex nation. We all come from this place, and we have to be realistic at this point. It is when we are struggling, when we are having trouble, everything, that is when we know we are in trouble. But at the same time we are relieved, we forget our problems. So the thing is, I'm very happy with your energy and everything. But please, I just want you to expatiate a little bit. We know the problem. We don't want to talk about problem today, but the solution to the problem. Yes. That is what we are here for. Yes. There's no single person that doesn't know. Each time I'm going to Nigeria, I have to fast for 3 days before I go. And when I'm coming back, I don't even think of God. How easy is that? Please. You've said it. I'm supporting you before I meet you, and I will support you to become president. And my thing is, how are you not going to disappoint us? Even with the people that we say we are supporting you, we're not looking for no favor. I'm ready to serve for free. God bless you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. You can see how passionate that brother is. I'm going to take 1 more question now. Give him time to answer it. Then we'll take 3 more. Let me have that brother. Let's tell us your name and your question, please. Let's go straight to the point.
Thank you very much. I came here at 4 o'clock actually, so I came here early so I was going to be able to ask my question. I see some young people in here. I feel like we are the one that's going to change Nigeria, and we see some youth in Mr. Sowore here. That's why I've been following everything from the beginning. One of my questions is pertaining to the Nigerian youth that came here, and we are basically going to be the future of Nigeria. I personally am moving back to Nigeria next year by the grace of God. And I don't win the election. Amen. If we win the election, that's why we are here. I'm here to support. When we win the election, we are here to support. I mean, I did not come here for him to lose. I came here to support. Yes. And I'm here, and I'm moving back to Nigeria to implement my tech idea because I know that young people need to move back and we need to make that change. Yes. And one of my questions is that, I'm sorry, I actually wrote them down. I'm sorry for wasting your time. Sorry.
We're happy you're really ready for it.
So honestly, Nigeria has been a two-party system. It's either APC or PDP. And this is not everybody knows that. Any third party that is running for anything is being considered a joke. In all reality. Before. What plan do you have to outlast these people? What are your plans? And also, what are your plans for Nigerians? What plans do you plan to implement to make people want to move back? Because we Nigerians are already comfortable. People, we don't want to leave our comfort zone. And honestly, everybody here we have doctors, we have lawyers, we have engineers. I see some of them in here. I'm not going to say you need us, but we have things we can offer. People right now, they don't bring that to us. They don't ask for, they don't say, oh, what are your expertise? How do you plan to bring people that have the skill and coalesce them into our system to make Nigeria better? That is my question.
Thank you. I'm going to just take the first comment as a comment. And I appreciate Professor Blessing Okene's very candid view about what is happening in Nigeria and what happened to her in 2015. Professor, I wish you had contacted me. You would not have gone for 8 months. I would have told you outright that the people you were going to serve in River State were not interested in service. Those guys are a gang of robbers. Except you were willing to go and rob, there's no way you could have made it in their midst. Even if they had offered you that commissionership, you probably have been back here now. Because as you yourself must have noticed, you said certain things that you didn't mention, that they introduce you into some ungodly things. That's how they operate. If they cannot trust that you can do terrible things, they cannot trust you to be part of the gang of thieves that are going to be running the country. We'll discuss about this at another symposium in the future. But next year when we win, Professor, I promise you, you'll be back. You'll have too much work on your hands. I said when we win. Yes, we will win. After we win. See, my English is starting to... Yes. Bolaji, thank you so much for skipping work. I hope your supervisors don't see you live. But thank you so much for coming today. And you have said something that I kind of disagree with. And that is this whole notion that Nigeria is complex. Nigeria is not complex. It's not. If it is complex, it would have been so difficult to be stealing easily from it. If it was complex, it wouldn't have had stupid leaders for 58 years. I'm saying it without apology. There's no complex system that allows idiots to run riot over it. I'm telling you, if it was complex, it would have been a system that would be difficult to navigate. But the word complex is a vocabulary of excuse that has been planted in our head by these leaders. You know, someone on Facebook, I don't know the name of that person on Twitter, said it is the scare button that they use to scare Nigerians. Anytime you say, do something for us, they say, look, Nigeria is a complex place. Don't just go near it. But the man who said Nigeria is complex is able to build a complex called a country home with the money that should have been meant for 5 universities in his state. The man that claims that Nigeria is complex bought a jet from money he stole from the state, and there's no hospital in that state. The man that claims Nigeria is complex is able to fly to London for treatment of catarrh, and they cannot just put money or medicine in Aso Rock clinic that has been budgeted for. I had the same encounter with Donald Duke in Abuja recently. He threw the same thing at me. I said to him, you're lying, sir. There's nothing complex about Nigeria. But you guys get away with your crimes against Nigeria. That's why you just come and say, because it was the first thing he said. It is their slogan. Nigeria is complex. You know, such a complex nature, complex country. The moment they say it to a lot of people, you just pull back. Look, oh, it's true. Only some few people. You know how it is like. I don't know how many of you hated maths in secondary school. I did. Yeah. So anytime they say we are doing some equations, the moment we start getting to quadratic equation, so many of us just know that only 2 people know how to solve it. That's how they throw it at you in Nigeria. They just say it's complex, so you leave it to only a few people to do or manage, and they see themselves as, some of them see themselves as a genius. It's a lie. But that is not to say that there are not some expertise required to govern Nigeria properly. And I'm telling you that I'm sitting in front of you with 30 years of expertise of making or helping to make Nigeria a better place. And I have seen 7 leaders, both military and civilian, come and go. And each time something went wrong, I knew what they did wrong. Right? What did Babangida do wrong? The refusal to hand over to somebody who won the election democratically. Was that a complex thing to do? What became complex was the outcome of that particular refusal. And that's why Nigeria did not develop for 7 years after. The thing they called GSM was coming to Nigeria in 1993. It was the annulment of the election that made all those people to move their GSM away. Can you imagine if we had GSM and also had a country of our own that had democracy since 1993? Whether Abiola governed well or not, the democracy would have matured by now. GSM would have come. So many of the things we wanted to do at that time would have done. The unity of the country would not have been affected the way it is affected today. What was the complex thing Abacha did? His refusal to hand over. What was the complex thing Obasanjo did? Torture. What was the complex thing that Yar'Adua did? He was sick, he refused to disclose his illness, and the country went into a complex tailspin. What was the complex thing Jonathan did? Corruption. And Desiani, the 2 of them, whatever they were doing behind the closed door, that was the complex thing that almost derailed Nigeria. What was the complex thing Buhari did? His refusal to disclose his illness. His refusal to disclose his certificate. Yeah? And his refusal to govern Nigeria at all. And now he wants Nigerians to reward him with another term after having such a disastrous 3 years. Only wicked leaders will do that. In a normal, conscientious country, Buhari would have said to Nigerians, I'm very sorry. I have done so much bad towards you. You have been nice to me. Please find another person to govern this place. I can't do it. And everybody would have been clapping for him. But what is the man doing? He's manipulating. He wants to come back again for another 4 years. The 3 years you spent, you only did 2 years that we know of. The rest of the time, you were dodging in and out of hospital. Till today, the man refuses to disclose to us what is wrong with him. So, I am just making that explanation so that you can understand why you may have to pray and fast for 17 days before you go on your next trip to Nigeria. You did 3 before. But if these guys win, you might need 3 months of fasting before your next trip, and you will still not be safe when you go to Nigeria. But what is it that we can do differently? That's the question you ask. And I'm telling you that we can do security differently by not only making sure that you are the commander-in-chief of the armed forces and the police. I would not be a commander-in-chief that sent the IG of police to go to Jos and he went to a party and I'm still looking at him.
Transmission.
And then he come and give you some transmission excuses. And he's still the IG. That is not governance. I will not be the president of Nigeria that cannot generate electricity that will be 24 hours in 3 years. I will not be the president of Nigeria that cannot complete Lagos-Ibadan Expressway in 3 years just to repair it, or the Kano-Kaduna Expressway, or the East-West Highway, so that people who are coming home like you will not die in an accident that is needless. I will not be the president of Nigeria in which tankers are parked from Ojuelegba to Apapa, and I know that it will burn down half of Lagos in a matter of time. And I'm there watching, hoping that the disaster will happen first before I can intervene. I will not be the president of Nigeria, with due respect to you, all of you who are religious, who will hand Nigeria over to God. Because God already did what he had to do with Nigeria. He's probably on sabbatical with us now. So we better get our ass together. Our brother who asked about what we are going to do, and he talked about two-party state. I beg to disagree with you, brother. It's not only two parties that have won elections in Nigeria. Different parties have won elections in Nigeria. In 1999, the party that won the election was PDP. Right? In 2015, it was APC. APC did not exist until 2014 or thereabout. So new parties have won elections before in Nigeria. And a new party is about to win election in Nigeria in next year. So don't worry about the two-party thing. We are not in the US. We are in Nigeria. They are going to be shocked again. You see, I was in Nigeria during the 2015 election. From 2014 to 2015, I was traveling and out. In those days, I used to hide and go into Nigeria through the bush paths. And I was there when Jonathan people were bragging every day that there was no way they can lose the election. I was there one day, the person was bragging, you know, the moment they drink 2 bottles of Star, they start to talk rubbish. He was one of the party leaders of PDP in Lagos, and he didn't know who I was, of course. You know, saying that it will be a shame on money if they lose the election. Money can never be shamed in Nigeria. Was money not shamed in Nigeria in 2015? We are going to shame money again in 2019, because let me tell you, I have traveled to the core parts of Nigeria, and there's nowhere that Buhari is enjoying love. So Nigeria, when Buhari won in 2015, it was because people voted for him all the way to Edo State. Today, Buhari cannot win in Edo State. That is where Mega Comrade is from.
It will never happen.
Otherwise, we are going to expel Mega Comrade from our movement.
Yes, sir.
Take it back.
Buhari cannot win in Taraba. Buhari cannot win in Plateau. Buhari cannot win in Benue. Buhari can't even win in Kaduna. Even if he wins in those places, he can't win with the same margin he won in 2015. So the space is there for us to contest and defeat this old order. But let me tell you, it's not only Buhari that is running. There are some other wicked people that are also running. PDP is also going to come out with a candidate. And we have heard that it's the man that is running from the US that they might pick, Atiku. I've challenged that one to come to the US for a debate. But they said the US embassy did not give him visa. You know why he didn't get the visa? He never applied for one. That's the truth. Because there's no way Atiku would have gone to apply for visa when they are looking for ways to jail his wife in the US. You cannot apply for visa to a country from which you ran away in the first place. That's the truth. So, we will outlast these people. And in outlasting them, that tech idea you are talking about, you'll be able to bring into Nigeria. Let me tell you, You might have the brightest ideas, and Professor Blessing, is that correct, man? Yes, has said it. You took your idea home and wanted to be commissioner. I took Sahara reporters home last year, 2017. I created a foundation, took money home, set it up in GRA Keja. They were monitoring me. Before you knew it, somebody came to assault me physically. Before I knew it, Saraki had gone to court in Kwara and gotten a Jankara judgment, like the one that they purchased all over the place. Before I could say Jack Robinson, they had seized all the money I took to Nigeria. They don't want, you see, people who themselves have never done business before cannot tolerate a hardworking person. Buhari, Saraki has never worked before in his life. You can go and check. He came as a medical doctor from the UK, and we checked and they say he has never practiced before, by the way, so it's a crime to call him a doctor. But I heard that he treats Dino. I don't know what he treats him for.
Blood pressure.
So he came as an NYC and he got a job at Societe Generale Bank, SGBN. And before you knew it, he started stealing money there. His first crime was stealing 500,000 naira in 1992. Do you know what I was doing in 1992? I was working hard to bring about democracy to Nigeria as a student activist at the University of Lagos. But look at what they did. They took all the money from me. They seized the money. Because they cannot tolerate people who are hardworking, who have independent mind. If I had come to Nigeria and accepted to work as his PA, to be doing propaganda or doing social media, I will be the richest today. The guy who equally left from the US to go and work for him as a PA, his wife is doing nursing in Nigeria. They are paying her as a staff of the Senate in Nigeria. Yeah, one of the Saraki's media, social media aid. That's the kind of Nigerians they like. But for you to have an independent business, you bring it to town, you want to, they will shut it down. So until you create the objective space for you to function and flourish, you are wasting your time. Take your business there. Within 6 months, if you are doing well, they will come after you. I'm telling you that. It doesn't matter who you are. The place is closed to good people. But if you want to do money laundering, you go there. Before you know, you'll be driving Bentley around here in Atlanta. And I know that there are people in this Atlanta who have helped them launder money and driving good cars. You know them amongst yourselves. So, those are my answers, and I think we have 3 more questions, and we'll take them.
We are going to take 3 more questions for now, after which we'll go into dinner, then we'll come back. Sister in white, come forward. Now, brother, get ready. Please tell us your name. Make it short, please.
Take it back. Take it back. Good evening, Mr. President. By the grace of God, you will be in that office. This is my first time, and I'm really happy to be here. My first question is, you are a man of integrity, and that is why I'm here today. I followed on your social media, everything you posted on YouTube. Now, if you win, if we win and resume the office, when we win and you resume the office, how do we trust you and the people you will be working with? There are lots of alagidis in Nigeria. And that is my fear and the fear of every people that are ready to vote for you. How are we going to trust you and the people you'll be working with? And my last question is, we are tired of hearing about electricity, road, water, all those things are fallacies. And I believe, which I still have faith, that you will do something. But the most important thing is, how will you take hunger from the land, especially the children? There's too much hunger in the land.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, my sister. We're going to take 2 more. Let's hear from an elder. My brother, get ready. Let's hear from our elder. Says the words of our elders are words of wisdom. Yes. So let's hear from Elder Ahmed.
We're going to get to everybody, please.
My name is Joseph Ahmed. My question to him today is, with
security situation in Nigeria today, between now and the election time, how are you going to take care of your own security?
Wow. See?
Thank you, sir. Now, bring in the back. Please tell us your name and go straight to the question.
My name is Larry. OMOYELE. I'm really glad to meet you in person today. I've actually followed you all the while from your student day. I'm also a friend to Olufale who worked with you in New York. My question is this, and I'm going to be pretty straightforward. When you win, you're going to come up with a lot of challenges, like the Senate. The Senate, for instance, they are used to inflating the budget and important line items that are brought to corruption. How are you sensitizing the public today that what we need to do is not just to win the presidency, but also to win the Senate? It is very important. If you have a Senate against you, a corrupt Senate, you'll be equally as bad as the outgoing President Buhari. That is what I think is very important to pass across. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Do you mind taking one more?
One more for this side.
Okay, madam, we'll go.
Good evening, sir. I really appreciate this privilege because I think that this is the first time. I'm a 28-year-old Nigerian person. I went to school in Europe and I have had only 2 relationships with Nigerian federal government. I went to NYSC and I have a passport. I'm 28 years and this is the only 2 things in my life that the federal government has done for me. My life has been fully private based on my parents. I didn't know what government was until I stepped out of Nigeria and realized that I should flick the switch and lights should come on. I didn't know that. So, I've written my questions now, and I've read a lot about dysfunctional countries, and Singapore was a mess before Lee Kuan Yew came back from Cambridge to build Singapore. 65 years down the line, last year, Singaporean passport became the most powerful passport in the world. When we are talking of building Nigeria, I think you should go beyond shambles and tatters. We should be talking 21st century. When I see things in this country, I'm moved because I'm like, why don't we have this in Nigeria? Are we not human beings? One thing I read in his book, moving from 3rd to 1st world country, is that when he came to Nigeria in 1957, he saw some things that we have failed. And today, Buhari and his mates are not seeing that. 57 years ago, he said something in his book. He said when he came back to his country to be president, he assembled a team of the cabinet, few people who had lives, people who had careers and were actually doing okay financially before becoming ministers and things like that. So my question is, how do you intend to select people that won't see the need to steal money because it's poverty? My little brother right there is 17 years old. He knows that if he wants to buy a car, he could get a car note. So he doesn't have to steal to buy a BMW. So how do you intend to select a team of people that would not be poverty-stricken and will have careers, doctors, lawyers, bankers, businessmen that wouldn't have the need to steal for after office? The second question is, I know a little bit about American history, and I realized that there is no way you can build a functional country without the rule of law. The superiority of the rule of law. Once there's one person in 182 million Nigerians that is above the law, Nigeria has failed. How do you intend to maintain the superiority of the law above of any? We'll see what's going on with Trump right now. That's the most powerful man in the world. He's facing probes. He's president of the United States, and he's being asked questions. How do you intend to make, if your brother mess up, are you going to put him to face the wrath of it?
Yeah.
My third question is one thing that I personally have a problem with. I'm a Muslim. My religion is my problem. How do you intend to separate religion from state?
Yes.
Because as long as we still keep sending people to Mecca with Nigerians' money, sending people to Jerusalem with Nigerians' money, it doesn't make sense. If you want to be a Christian, it's your business. I'm a Muslim, it's my business. There's got to be no connection. When I was leaving school, this is just an addition. My friends from Ege University in Israel were going back to Germany and the Russia and America, and I was faced with two chances. Am I going to go back to Nigeria or go to another person's country? I had to come here because there was nowhere to go in Nigeria. Yeah. And bear in mind, I am from a family where they could afford to send me abroad, and I knew that there was nowhere to go in Nigeria. So what of that boy that is in Sokoto or in Jalingo or somewhere who had no Lagos roads and stuff like that? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good question.
Thank you so much. You'll be a waste if you're not part of the Take It Back movement. You have a passion, man, and we need your passion in this movement. The first question is about integrity, trust, and the trust with people that I'm working with. I'll tell you two things. The question about integrity, I'll tell you a little past history I've had, and I'll also tell you a little bit about what I would do as a guarantee to know that I'm not the kind of person that cannot be trusted. When it was very, very cool to drive a car brand known as Peugeot 505. I was in my 20s at the University of Lagos. Welcome, Atumba. Thank you. And as a student union president, they had just annulled the election of Abiola, and Babangida was giving out 505 to students, 505 saloon car. GT is what they call that. There's an SR and there's a GT. I think the GT one has a rubber at the back. Yes, and it has air conditioning. And it has a tape inside. You know, you crank it up, the whole world is following you in those days. They brought to me and I said to the guy who brought it, I said, how long can the car last? He said, you know, in 3 years, we will bring another one for you if you just don't be part of the troublemakers. And I said to him, I said, Babangida will not be here in another 3 years. So you might as well just disappear with your car. A few years later, I went to Nigeria. 2003 was the first time I went to Nigeria. I was going to our village and I asked my brother, I haven't seen a 505 since I came to Nigeria. What happened to that car, that famous car? He said, 505, nobody uses 505 anymore. And then as we were about to enter the bush to our village, the one came out carrying a wedu. You know, they had removed the roof, removed the destiny of the car. It doesn't look like 5. He said, that's the 505 that you have been looking for. So I was telling myself, if I mortgaged my future in 1993 because of a 505, where would I be today?